There we go. We're live. All right. Welcome, everybody. We got a lot of familiar faces, and we got some new people joining. We got people that are going to start hitting the YouTube channel now that we're filling up the Hangout. I'll let Shanti know that I just started recording. She just reminded me. All righty. Shanti may be joining us. We got one more spot here, right? Yeah, one more spot. And then the overflow will be going to the YouTube channel. So, similar to Conscious Creators 3.1 that we did several months ago, I'm going to do a couple of bonus sessions to start with before the program starts. We are going to have a few more members joining us. So officially we'll start in a couple weeks. I'm imagining right now 2 bonus sessions, and then we'll officially start the program. And I'm going to do something really different too. A theme has been, it's so awesome to see you guys smiling. We got so many people back from previous programs, a couple people that have been with me for like 4 programs, Carrie and Regina for sure. Brandy started in the middle of the last program. Erica started at the beginning. Iman started at the beginning. John, you joined us at some point. Bobby, you've been with me for what, like almost a year. So it's awesome that everybody in the Hangout, almost all you guys are old timers in the Conscious Creators idea. But something that's come up really new for me, and I'm finding it to be extremely helpful for me, and in my one-on-one, I've still been doing several one-on-one sessions. Everybody's finding this really helpful, and that is the idea of orientation. So I will officially do an official orientation session for this Conscious Creators 4.0. I'll do that in probably 2 weeks when we start. However, I'm going to do a lot of orientation in this week and next week's bonus sessions. I'm going to say a lot of the same things over and over and over again, and you guys know why, right? Number 1, you just can't drill the basics too much. And number 2, there are forces on this planet. I'm not talking about conspiracy theory, though you can call it that if you like. There are forces on this planet, family, multi-generational, corporate, governmental, etc., that are designed to make us feel and think and believe that we are some things we're not in a world and in a universe that we're not. In fact, we get tens of thousands of signals every day. Tens of thousands of signals telling us, hey Carrie, you're a limited, ugly, stupid, worthless, it ain't me, baby, meat suit in a fucking nightmare of scarcity and trouble. I get the same signals. And I could have substituted any number of words, because from one side the picture is this, from this side the picture is that. From another. So we're being oriented into many different universes every day. Does that make sense to anybody? I see some recognition. I see a couple of, what the hell is he talking about? I'm not naming anybody. I'm just playing. My bad jokes will continue over from 3.0 and 3.1 right on into 4.0 for those of you who were wondering. Squirrel, sex references, and all. All right? So we're being oriented tens of thousands of times a day. All right, this is my last check in on the tech side here, so let me just see. Good deal. Letting Shanti know, thanks. It is so awesome to have amazing, awesome people. You know, doing this for as long as I have, I got a couple of amazing friend, love, close people that are volunteers that are really helping with this, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Constance and Shanti, especially right now. Thank you so much. Okay, no, we got some people loading into YouTube now. Good. So I'll just continue with my rant. We're being addressed tens of thousands of times by people, entities, advertisements, etc., telling us that we are a meat suit in a dangerous, scary, scarcity world. Do you agree? Does anybody agree? Can you think of any things, any signals you've gotten in the last hour? Okay, and the vast majority of it is unconscious or semi-conscious at best, very hidden, very well disguised, and it's so damn habitual that we don't, it's just, yeah, life's a bitch and then you die. Only two things that are sure, death and taxes. Yeah, life's hard. Man, that shit just goes on and on and on and on, undercurrent, buzzing. And in this program, more than in any other program, we're going to put the spotlight on that crap, drag it into the light, and dissolve it and transmute it back into awesomeness. So what I want to do with orientation is not just orientation. Oh, I'm liking him smile. This is clicking with you guys. All right. Much more than orientation into Conscious Creators 4.0, which we're going to do a lot of. We're going to actually reorient ourselves with what we are and where we are. That's what I'm really feeling. What would it be like to become fully reacquainted with who and what I actually am and where I actually am and the limitless freedom and power that's actually my nature? Okay, who here that's in the hangout with me, who has done a spell breaking or unsticking session with me? Who has ever done one? Erica, your first experience with me, it was on that workshop, and we did one, okay? Almost everybody has. You know, when we dissolve whatever the crap is, you notice what's left is just this feeling of peace. Every time when we dissolve whatever it was, all that's left, there's this peace. And if we get even quieter, right behind the peace is joy that all roots in that cosmic love. Yeah, I just used a couple of four-letter words. Span of 3, for those of you that were paying attention. Oh, wait, peace is 5, sorry. Never said I was going to do any math here. So, love and joy and peace is actually what's left when all the other shit dissolves or is released. That's what's there. So guess what you actually are behind all that other programming and conditioning and orientation. In truth with a capital T. You're love and joy and peace. That's what I am. Capital AM. So let's do a little of that orientation. Before we do though, since I have so many familiar faces from earlier programs, let me just check in. Does anybody feel compelled or desiring to share anything? Maybe breakthroughs that you've had since the last program? Maybe insights that you had as we were gearing up to start this one? Because we started working on this the day that you said yes to this program. We started working on it. It didn't really starting now. It started the day you said, yeah, I'm in 4.0. So I know you've been having stuff happening. Anybody feel anything to share? If you do, don't hold back now. You know I'll call on you. I feel a couple people with something. Just tune in. Get past any possible shyness. If you got anything to share, any breakthrough, or maybe any challenge, I'll open that up as well. Any major challenge that you'd really like to address in this program. Ah, there we go. All right, Carrie, unmute and talk to us, honey.
Okay, well, I'll just share a few things that have happened. First, you know, I disappeared off the face of the earth. Brian, you know why. My father-in-law died. I have been able to help several people have breakthroughs of their own and get past some of of their grief and their anger and their frustration at their situation, just by using a lot of the tools that you've taught me. And I've been able to help myself as well through my grieving process, which was pretty awful, actually. But so those are a couple things that have been happening.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I know you went into a deep valley there for a while.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And you're definitely back shining again. It's really awesome. Thank you, Carrie.
Welcome.
Alrighty, mute. And so, oh, you know what? Let's do this. I will spend a few minutes. We're going to have so many new faces coming in here. It'll be great for me to cover this. And all of you in the Hangout this time, you guys know. So here's how this is going to work. Every week, when it's session time, I'll be posting the link for the Hangout first. We'll get that posted in the community at the time the session's supposed to start. So everybody do your math, do your time zone calculation. Be there a few minutes early. When we post that link, the first 9 people who click the link will come straight into the Hangout, and you guys, you new people, see the film strip across the bottom here where you can see all the other participants. You'll get to be in here. And what's really awesome about that, other than the fact that we get to look at you, I will be doing spell breaks fairly consistently. Probably every session I'll do at least one. Maybe not on these orientation sessions, but we'll see. But during normal sessions, I will. There will be some sessions where I do nothing but spell breaks, where you'll step up, you'll say, yeah, I'm dealing with something, and I'll work with you one-on-one, and we will clear it. And when that happens, everybody watching will have a breakthrough. It happens every time, doesn't it, guys? Every time, no matter who I'm working with, everybody has a breakthrough. It's freaking crazy, mind-blowing, and awesome to watch and experience. So you definitely want to get into the Hangout if you possibly can. There are some people, I'm going to warn you, like Regina and Carrie, that are going to be sitting with their finger like this, waiting for me to post the link. So you got to move your butt. And Erica says her too. Okay, so you got to move your butt if you want to be in the Hangout with us. But that's the thing. The first 9 will get into the Hangout. Everybody else will spill over to the YouTube channel. So a few minutes after the link to the Hangout is posted, we'll post the link to the YouTube channel, and then everybody else will be watching live on the YouTube channel. As it stands right now, there is still no really easy and convenient way for me to monitor the comments from the YouTube channel. So if you want to communicate and participate in a session, do what you can to get into the Hangout with us. All right. As soon as you get into the Hangout, the next thing that you're going to want to do is make sure your video and audio is working. I will do a quick microphone check with everybody. And for participants that are with me today, I didn't start recording until after that, so they won't see it. That's why I'm explaining it. So what you'll do is you will talk when I invite you, say something, and then click mute. And the way that you mute is you'll move your mouse over the video of me. 6 buttons appear across the top of the Hangout. Click the one that looks like a microphone, and I'll confirm that you're muted. And then throughout the session, be ready to click that mute button, because I may call on you. We may have a conversation. I cannot recommend and push this highly enough. Close all other windows, turn your phone off, put it in freaking airplane mode, and push it away where it can't reach you and you can't reach it, and close your other windows and focus on the session. Next thing, presence. Okay? Presence is everything. It's everything. In truth, what we're doing in the Conscious Creators Program really is we're learning to cultivate and master being present. You could literally almost say that's all we do. In a sense, it's true. But saying that's all we do makes it sound like it isn't everything. Because it's everything. Being completely present, when somebody gives you those bullshit signals about how you're a meat suit in a scarce universe, when you're completely present, you go, interesting that you're dealing with that. Instead of thinking, oh, what's wrong with me? Or feeling threatened or scared or upset or sad or any of that crap. Total presence. Whoever is talking during the Hangout is the most important person in the universe. Now, that's really great for me and my ego, because I'll talk most of the time. And I'm the most. But anyway, it doesn't matter who's talking. And if I start doing a spell break with Julio, Now it's me and Julio going back and forth. And he starts talking about, when I was 3, I feel like they took away my teddy bear earlier than I was ready for. And you're like, okay, well, this isn't relevant to me. I can go over to Facebook or I can scratch my butt for a few minutes. I don't need to. Listen to me. And I'm gonna ask for an amen and a hallelujah from the chorus here. Sometimes when I'm doing a spell break with somebody and they're talking about something that's so off the wall and so irrelevant to you, if you stay with it, do you or do you not find, oh my God, that was for me? Every freaking time. That was for me. Oh my God. So whoever's talking, when we're on this session, I recommend it in your daily life. You want to be happy? Be present. Cultivate it. Breathe deeply. All these other tools that we're going to share in the program. Get in your body. Be behind your eyes, looking out and tuning in with everything you have, like a satellite dish antenna tuned into the person in front of you, especially in these sessions. It's an awesome thing also to kind of scan that film strip at the bottom where all these faces are. Just watch the reactions and watch what's going on. So you're present to whoever's talking and you're present to everybody else. It will make such a difference for you. I promise. All right? So let's see. We just covered the technical orientation, a little bit of program orientation. I'll go a little bit deeper than that, and then we'll go into the human universe orientation, get into some meat of this. The way this program is going to work, it's going to run 12 weeks. I am notorious for adding bonus weeks, as some of my friends really like. Let me slip this in. Let me slip in a little quick sales message. This is absolutely unquestionably the lowest cost, lowest price program that I will ever do again. We're doing some huge things to take level 5 from touching thousands of people. Well, in under 4 years, we've touched right at 45,000 people in 83 countries. In 2015, we will touch millions, period. We're doing huge things right now, huge things. And awesome. Christine joined us. Hey, Christine.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
And all right, perfect. Please mute.
Okay.
Welcome, honey.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. There you go. She got it. Okay. So we are going from touching tens of thousands to millions. And this will be the last, I'm going to say, low-cost Conscious Creators program. Things are going to go up now. I will always have free stuff for everybody. Always. I'll always have some low-cost, really awesome products. And we've got some amazing meditations and my DVD. We got some amazing stuff that we've never really marketed that we will. So anybody at any level will be able to join. But this is an elite mentoring and coaching and life transformation program. I mean, have you guys ever seen any, those of you that have been in earlier programs with me, you ever seen anything like this? And I mean, there's some good stuff. I'm not knocking anybody. There's some great programs out there, but I've been through multi-thousand-dollar year-long coaching programs that were largely a waste of money and time. I've been to multi-thousand-dollar seminars. It's like, okay, you leave with 5 minutes worth of valuable nuggets out of a weekend, including flights and everything else sometimes. Okay, so this is rare stuff. And to have something like this, 90 days, where you get this kind of access to somebody who's actually got some gifts and ability to really help you transform, to do that affordably, that's pretty rare. So these prices will be going up. If you know anybody that is a really good fit, that would really benefit from and really enjoy this program, the time to nudge them and invite them and let them know about it is over these next 2 weeks, because we will officially start, as it looks right now, on the 3rd week. Okay, so today I believe is the 6th, so 13th, like around the 20th. It should be the 20th, Tuesday the 20th, it will officially start. If you know someone this is for, let them know this is their window. Okay? Now, over the course of those weeks, what are we going to do? We're going to break some freaking spells. We are going to dissolve some crap. We're going to dissolve multi-generational, governmental, educational, religious programming, family clutches, like never before. Who would say that the last couple of Conscious Creators program, whatever you've been involved in, who would say that it was worth more than the cost of it? Who would say that? Now, just if you don't think so, please don't put your hand up. But if you do, okay. One more thing. Remember this, guys. Your video windows for me are very narrow. So when you look at yours, you look wide. If you do this, I won't see your hand. So always remember to do this, okay? Everybody stay plugged in so I can see. There you go, John. John's got it. All right. This will be the best program I've ever done, period. The information and the tools and the insights that have come to me in the last 30 days. You guys remember the last few weeks of Conscious Creators 3.1? It was like, holy crap, how can it get any better? And every session was just building and building. That has not stopped. It has accelerated. And I've got access to some information now that makes every tool, every process, everything I've ever done look like kindergarten. And we're in postgraduate now. We are going to blast through some stuff. Feel that. Okay? So, ooh, I like them smiles. So now let's get the real orientation on. You are secretly the universe. You really are. And how do I say that? And how some of you have heard me say that enough, and you've experienced enough reading and meditation. You kind of get a sense of that every once in a while. I was like, oh, damn, I am. But of course, we've been programmed for a long time to not ever think anything like that. Who do we think we are? But what we see from science, finally catching up with Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, the ancient religions that other religions grew out of. Of course, those of us that are truly religious, and not, you guys that are here today, you may have some religion, but you're all spiritually focused or you wouldn't be here. Okay? But those who are trapped in religion, they can't look at this information because it would demolish their religion. But all at the esoteric level of every religion, everybody always knew that the universe is one, perfect, complete, eternal, undifferentiated energy. Conscious, living stuff. Einstein said, it's not widely quoted, but he said explicitly, there is no such thing as matter. There is no physical universe. It doesn't exist, never has. There is no physical universe. It's energy vibrating in certain ways such that to our perception it seems physical. But there ain't nothing physical. Einstein was asked, hey, how does it feel to be the most intelligent man alive? And he said, I don't know. You'd have to ask Nikola Tesla that question. And Nikola Tesla says, there ain't no universe here. There is no physical universe where we've been completely misled by our senses and by those who seek to control by convincing everyone that there's scarcity and that it's physical and that we're limited, which creates fear, disconnection, anxiety, and makes us easy to control. But now here's the craziest part. Because you're the universe, you're not the victim of those people who for the last thousands of years and for the last few decades of your life have told you that you were a scarcity-bound meat suit. You created that too. And we're going to get deep into that, and you'll see, here's the craziest part. You're going to see that that's the most practical, usable, pragmatic information available to us. All the people say, oh, that's woo-woo, that's far out woo-woo, that's space cadet bullshit. Well, if you say so, then it is. But the fact of the matter is, it's the most practical information available to us. What's leverage? I'm just following. I'm rambling and ranting, but I'm really following some intuition here. Who knows what leverage is? Who could say in a sentence what leverage is? Anybody? Okay, good. I'm going to really challenge everybody intellectually for a moment. This is important. The father of systematization, Deming. Some of you guys know Deming is the one who, after the war, U.S. and Japan, the U.S. nobody in the U.S. would listen to him. Oh, we're making too much money. We got everything figured out. We don't need your shit. He goes over to Japan, and in a matter of years, Japan's kicking America's ass in quality in the automotive industry and many other industries. Okay, so he taught systems theory and systematization and systemization. How do you optimize something so that it's duplicatable, repeatable, efficient, and effective? And I love, man, he's got this incredible, powerful quote. If this was all he said, he would still be a rock star, but he did a lot more than this. He said, if you can't explain what you're doing as a simple process, you don't know what you're doing. If you can't explain what you're doing as a simple process, you don't know what you're doing. So most of us are winging it most of the time, and that's okay unless we want to actually succeed in a reliable, duplicatable, reliable, systematic way that we can count on. So I ask, who can define leverage? Well, if you can't define it, you sure as hell ain't going to be living it. And leverage is one of the most powerful concepts available to us, because what leverage actually means is to accomplish greater work with less effort. Now you bring in a lever, a literal physical lever, and see it. This rock is just too damn heavy for me to move. But give me a big enough lever and a fulcrum placed in the right place, and it's just nothing. I don't know, some wise ass said, give me a big enough lever and I'll move the world. Kudos to the wise ass. I just don't know who it was that said it. Or I would credit them with the quote. So let that sink in for a minute, will you? Let that sink in for a minute. Leverage. Something to you looks insurmountable. Something to you that looks difficult. Ooh, that big challenge, you know, that one. Well, if you have the right leverage, there's nothing to it. Who's heard of the mom or, you know, the wife or whatever, that the husband's under the car, the jack breaks, the car falls on him, he's going to die, and she goes over and lifts the damn car up with one hand and jerks him out with the other. She couldn't have lifted that freaking car for nothing, but there she goes. What was the leverage? That bastard's life insurance ain't paid. Let me get him out from under that car. Right? She had leverage, man. Why are you women laughing at that, but the guys ain't? Hang on a minute. She had leverage. She wanted to keep that guy alive, right? Or her child. The impossible becomes possible with enough leverage. You guys getting that? Can you let that sink in enough that it actually distills over into the so-called spiritual for a minute? With the right leverage, the minute that I go from, okay, the universe is one undifferentiated energy that's eternal. Let me see if I memorize what Brian said. It's eternal, it's infinite, it's complete, it's perfect, it's undifferentiated. I got that. There ain't no leverage there. It's just a mental distraction as you go forth still believing you're a meat suit in a scarcity clockwork Newtonian bullshit illusion. It ain't true. This is not a big clock with hard gears. It's not. The fact is, it is a quantum soup of infinite possibility. Behind the atom, behind the, the material, is the atom. Behind the atom is this non-physical, conscious, thinking, aware energy. But that's only true out there in space. Here on the earth, it's really hard. No, that means it's still just a mental idea. What if we let it sink in? The universe is the entirety of the universe. Now, there's something behind that, or it couldn't be happening. So if we become quiet and present, by the way, what we're doing right now, this is orientation. Reorientation, maybe. The universe is infinite, unlimited, capacity to become anything and everything. It has the unlimited ability and capacity to become an infinite number of universes, an infinite, limitless number of universes, without ever putting a scratch in the paint of its infinite ability to become and become and become. Wow. It ain't just infinite, it's infinitely, infinite. Shit. The mind can't go there. So what you got to do is eventually just let go and kind of let it seep in. And then you start to get leverage. Ah, Bobby, I come to you for a moment. Unmute, if you will. I have watched you over these last few months. I've watched you be very committed to living these ideas rather than just having them be concepts. I've watched you lay down a bunch of old shit and step in and expand more and more. What would you say? I'm putting you completely on the spot with no preparation. 2 or 3 amazing things that are happening in your life from making this more than just a mental idea. Practical life.
Life's become effortless almost. I mean, I'm not going to say that like everything in my life is exactly the way that I want it to be right now, but I've let go of that for now. I opened myself up to being open, I guess, and just embracing whatever is given to me for the first time in my life, instead of trying to force the hand and make all this stuff that I think is beneficial to me, instead just being present to what is actually benefiting me in that moment, and just living in the moment, and doing a little bit every day to be that change that I want to be, and really taking back control of my life, I guess, in the sense that I always felt that control was outside of myself. You know, I was raised as a Catholic, so it was always like, you know, let go and let God, and it was never that realization that you are essentially that source too. You have the power to decide what you want in your life, who you are, and instead of it being dictated to you. Yes, just an overwhelming freedom.
Okay, and that's perfect and beautiful. And what would you, if you were to point at, most people categorize life. There are no categories of life, guys. That is really a bullshit trap. Okay? There are none. But when we think and talk, okay, so we have relationships, and we have money, and we have business, and we have our health, and we kind of look at it in categories. What are a couple categories of life that you see specific measurable differences in that freedom and more happiness and more ease?
Health, for one. I left a job of 7 years and a relationship of 5 years just in the past year, and since those experiences, I've felt probably the happiest I have in my entire, and that's translated to, I've actually put on about 15 pounds, which is really good. I used to be really, really skinny, for those that can't see through the screen. So health-wise, that made me feel better. It translated to eating more. It translated to exercising, and generally being overall happier. And that translated to my relationships with other people, and no longer being afraid of saying the wrong thing or offending somebody. I embody myself 100%, and I tune into what I can best do in the situation rather than always trying to fix something, I guess is the best way to describe it too.
Ooh, okay.
So
Now,
health and relationships.
that's deep. I got to ask this. What happened when you quit fixing? What happened when you quit fixing things? All right, he'll need to fix his internet connection.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so what happened when you quit fixing things? Now, this is going to like push you into a thought corner here.
Again, life just became effortless. You know, for me, I
Okay, wait,
always used to try
hang on, Bobby. I'm going to twist that question. Let me twist it a little bit. What quit happening when you quit fixing things?
problems, people that pissed me off.
It quit, didn't it?
You know,
It just quit. Now other things arise, and you'll always have like a progression of opportunities. But when you quit, listen, guys, when you quit fixing things, and when you quit thinking in terms of fixing things, the universe stops getting the signal from you that you want things to fix. It quits getting the signal from you that you want problems to fix. When you're constantly trying to fix, you have an energy of fix. Fix. These things are bad and wrong and broken and yucky, and I need to fix them. And you feel that energy, you're emanating the energy of fix, and the universe brings you a never-ending string of broken things. And when you quit having that feeling, you started, oh wait, the universe is me, and it's one energy, and it's them. There's nothing to fix if that's true, and all of a sudden that shit stops. Now, how about this? I got one more question for you, Bobby. Did you notice how after that it kind of played itself out still, but on a much more subtle level? And then you gradually even noticed, oh shit, it's the same game, and then you had yet another graduation? Because I saw you do it.
oh, for sure, yeah. Like, it's kind of like replaying the same scenarios, except this time you're a different character. That's the best way to describe it. A different set of circumstances is playing out because of it.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you,
I just
man.
want to add too that
Wait.
the other part that I really noticed too is when I stopped fixing things, is all those shitty feelings that I associated all that stuff with. That's what disappeared. And it made room for more joy, more peace, more love. So I mean, it's not that those things don't come up and I don't get like upset the odd time, but measuring the time that I used to be upset versus the time that I have to be upset now, completely different.
Perfect. Okay, now some of you guys are already have already been having experiences of this, right? And you will have it more. Bobby, thanks for that. All of it, especially that last point. Okay, we're gonna talk about and work on that last point that he made. That's gonna come up many times with us because often when people begin transformational work, or let me bring my focus back. There we go. Or they have a breakthrough, they immediately expect everything's gonna change now. And that doesn't usually happen. What actually usually happens is it usually gets a little bit worse for just a short, tiny little while. It gets a little bit worse because the universe is saying, wait a minute. Remember, the universe is your body. If you're having a health issue that's moving in one direction, and then you begin to move it in the other direction, sometimes there's a little pendulum movement. It doesn't just swing back to center, swings back the other way a little bit. Same way with if someone has felt really trapped in their life. Okay, this is something a lot of women can relate to, feeling like they've been a doormat. Okay, you know, I do everything for my husband and kids or whatever, blah blah blah, for the world, and And then when she starts to feel it, she'll push to where I ain't doing anything for anybody. And then she finds after a while that's not really that happy either. So then it can move to the center. But often people swing further than they need to in reaction. Well, the universe, that's how the game works. So for us, when we make that big change and we expect it to change, sometimes it actually swings much further than you would have expected, or it even gets so-called worse for a little while because the universe, as part of your body, is saying, are you really sure? I mean, let me crank this heat up a little bit and see if you're really sure. Then, magically, things start to move. And then what I've experienced over and over, dozens and dozens of times, that scenario or similar scenarios will play out again, but on a much smaller scale. And I get to be ever more sensitive and more finely tuned, aware of what it is until the universe goes, you're really not going to react to even that, are you? Okay, fuck it, I'm done. And now the play is over. That loop doesn't happen again. I could give you hundreds of examples. Just pay attention. Okay. Now, let's do the hardcore orientation now. So the universe is. Ain't nobody going to deny that. The universe is. And I am. And I am actually the center of the universe. I'm sorry for all of you who are mere pawns in my game. You're in my reality, bitches. But don't be offended, because you're also the only one here. And all of us are just players in your reality. Wait, now how can that be? How can both be true? Because the universe is infinitely infinite. Now, I can prove to you that you're the only one here. It just takes more time than we have today. And I can also prove that I'm the only one here. So here's what it is, and I invite you to toy with this, maybe journal with it. Expand yourself by toying with this idea. Don't trust me. Don't believe me. Find out for yourself. So the universe is. It emerges out of eternity into time and space to have an experience. In eternity, there's no time or space. It's all eternally one. Deepak Chopra has a famous quote that he quoted somebody else, I don't remember who it was, that said, time is a cosmic convenience that keeps us from experiencing everything all at once. Time is a cosmic convenience that keeps us from having to experience everything all at once. But in the eternal realm, which is here now, it's all now. No motion, no change, no movement. And apparently, in this eternal realm, there's one entity, because there aren't any separate things in eternity either. The mind can't go there, so I'm just pointing the arrows. You look and then let it open so that you can sense it. You won't ever think it and figure this out. You'll never understand it, nor will I. It's not understandable. It's not comprehensible. But if we look at it, we can kind of see it and remember it. And that's the bigger part of us that dwells there, because nothing ever changes in eternity. So even though this time and space universe is here, eternity didn't change or stop in order to have this experience. It's like a ray of light projecting out of the eternal allness that's limitless, eternal, perfect completeness. And it's like a ray of light projects out into this illusion of time and space so that it can have an experience, and then it splits into infinite forms, seemingly separate. But there's no separation. Who gets a sense that this is true, whether you completely know it or not? Who gets a sense that this is actually true? There's no separation. Oneness is true. Oneness. Okay? Well, now check this out. Science has proven that cells communicate over the course of hundreds or thousands of miles. You take cells out of a liver, put them in 2 dishes, and take one to Siberia and one to Hawaii. And poke the ones with some substance that are in Siberia and watch the ones in Hawaii squirm and wiggle and dance. Walk in the room with the EEG or whatever you call it, an electroencephalograph. Put it on a plant and walk in the room with the intention to burn the plant and watch it react. This is what Chopra and quantum physicists refer to as non-local orientation. There is no location in eternity. This time and space universe just seems to be. It just seems to be separate. And things look separate. But check this out. I am studying some information right now about how emotions flow through a family like the family is one person. And it's provable. You can watch it with electronic instruments. The family is the emotional unit, not the individual. Ooh. I see a couple faces that are experiencing things in their families. They're going, oh shit. The family is the emotional unit. Now check this out. Here's what it means. Do you have anyone in your family who is crazy, or I should say crazier than you? Because that's what I ask myself. Do you have anyone in your family that's crazy? Anyone who's been diagnosed with anything? Master your own presence and calmness and watch them change. You don't have to talk to them about it. You don't have to see them. It could be someone that's 1,000 miles away that you put an ocean between you and them so you don't have to deal with their crazy ass. But if you master your presence and master to where anxiety doesn't rule your life anymore, they will change. It's been proven in thousands and thousands of families. This information is going to be near the core of what we do in this program this time. So what are we going to do in Conscious Creators 4.0 as the summary of this? And we'll wrap up our orientation of this phase with this. What we're going to do is we're going to become more so conscious creators. We're creating 24/7, can't stop, because the universe projects out of eternity, or excuse me, infinite being projects out of eternity into time and space, shows up as a universe with you at the center. So go back to when you were a little kid and your mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandma said, who do you think you are, at the center of the universe? Say, hell yeah, I am, because I am. You are the center of the universe. There's no mistake about it. Look around. Open your eyes, John, and just look around. Everything's around you, right? You're the center of the freaking universe. Hello? Anybody doubt that would have to be blind or stupid. Now, I am too, so we got to honor each other here. Nobody becomes Satan or a bad guy or a bad girl just because they think they're the center of the universe. It doesn't make you bad. It makes you start to wake up. So the universe shows up because light projects out of eternity into time and space to have an experience. It splits into opposites. Up and down, left and right, good and bad, hot and cold, black and white, dim and bright, warm and cool, and on and on and on and on and on and on in what I call the sphere of opposites. Any of you that went through level 5 mentoring, I spent a lot of time on the sphere of opposites. It's time to bring that back out and revisit that, because there's some very powerful stuff there. Within this sphere of opposites, I am the chooser who shows up in this sphere of opposites. Infinite possibilities in every direction, a pair of opposites. Contrast, in the words of Abraham, right? contrast. And then I choose. And based on what I choose, my experience changes. I am the center of my universe, and the universe is truly my body. Could you exist without the sun? Well, then it's one of your organs. Could you exist without your brain? As the you that you call yourself? No. Not Carrie. The infinite you don't need anything because you're eternal. But projecting into time and space, it's a system, including suns and stars and migrations of birds, bees, pickles, funny multicolored artificial penises, varieties of cheese. It's so funny to watch the women who are trying to be prim and proper and not smile when I say multicolored artificial penises. Like, I don't want to know those things exist. Has he been in my drawers? So everything, right? The whole freaking universe in all of this multiplicities of everything, that's your body. Could you live without the bees? Looks like the cell phone companies are wanting to find out right now. But no, it's all one. The universe is your body. And so, wait a minute. So, projecting out of eternity into time and space, the universe is my body. So how does this work? Well, that infinite power, all the knowledge, information, and wisdom that's ever been and will ever be, all the power that creates all the universes, billions and trillions of infinite numbers of universes, without ever putting a scratch in its infinite capacity to become, shows up as me. Shows up as you, Erica. And then based on all of what you think and know and believe, your mother's cell and your father's cell, boom, comes together with all the historical memories stored in the water. And you project holographically, and everything that you think and know and think and believe and know to be true shows up as the universe around you. And that's what you get to deal with in this life, in this body. In truth, there's no continuity. There is no ongoing stability of anything except for what you think and believe that you know. And that's why when Bobby started to change some of the things he knows and didn't want to know those things anymore, I no longer know that I don't know if any of these words are yours, Bobby, but just all the work we've ever done, okay? I no longer know that I'm not good enough. I no longer know that I'm a pussy boy. I no longer know that I can't have what I want. I no longer know those things. And damn, all of a sudden he starts to have what he wants. How cool is that? So in the most profound way, guys, the universe is responding to everything you think and believe and know. In fact, the universe, you could say, is the map of everything you think and believe that you know. Anybody see that? Anybody think there would be value in remembering that as you go through your day? Damn. Yeah. Change everything. Everything. Infinite freedom. And what are we here to do? We're here to become more conscious at our creating. So the infinite knowledge, wisdom, and power that's ever been and will ever be, that's flowing into me, projecting out into my universe based on what I think I know, creates my reality moment to moment to moment. So as I choose to take control of that and become consciously creating, I'm no longer unconsciously creating what I know, which is of course all bullshit, or the vast majority of it's bullshit. I'm now consciously creating by consciously choosing what I want to be present about and focused on. So in summarizing that, here's the best way I've found. And for some of you guys, boy, is this a review. All the knowledge, information, and wisdom and power that creates all the universes, all that has ever been and will ever be, is flowing into me now. Projecting holographically is what I call me, projecting out into creating my universe. I can only do one of two things with that infinite, unlimited knowledge, power, wisdom that creates all the universes. Only one of two things. I can either focus it into what I want to experience, or I can fall into thought. The vast majority of the time we've been falling into thought. And when I fall into thought, here's what actually happens. I look at what is, oh shit. And then I refer to memory, oh shit. And I make more of the same in a downward spiral. I look at what is, and I completely forget, oh shit, this is a mirror of what I think and believe and know. And instead I think this is what is. And I have to deal with it. So then I refer to memory. Well, it's always been like this. It reminds me, and everybody else I know is. So now we think, and now we're thinking. When you're thinking about what is and what was, you ain't focused on what can be. But when you focus on what can be, here's what actually happens. You know what? I'll spend a moment on the mind before I do that, since we're doing a pretty intense orientation here. The mind is the deciding factor here. The mind is the lens. So what's flowing out of eternity into time and space? All the knowledge, information, wisdom, and power that's ever been and will ever be. It's light. It's energy. And it's flowing in and projecting as you in the universe. But what's the deciding factor is the mind. It's your mind. And your mind is like a lens. It's like a telescope and a microscope. And it's on a thing that will let it aim in any direction. And you can aim out to the farthest star and think about that. You can think about the whole universe. You can think about your heart. You can think about your liver. You can think about your relationship with X person. You can think about your next bill that's due and how you don't have enough money. You can focus that telescope and microscope anywhere, anytime. And when you focus it on what you want to experience, what is actually happening is that the energy, the light tube flowing from eternity into time and space so that it can have an experience here, that light tube hits the lens of your mind, and your mind, you've said, as will, as conscious will, you've said, I will focus mine right now on what I want to experience. You are now turning that lens and aiming it into the future and present that you most want to experience. So let's just say, Iman, that you said what I want to experience right now is feeling tremendous love and having things just be so easy. That's what I really would like to experience right now. So you're feeling and thinking love and ease, love and ease. And as that infinite, unlimited power that's flowing in, it never stops, it never turns off. It's either creating the chaos based on all the other shit that we think and believe and know, or you've actually stopped and aimed on purpose, consciously creating. And now, when you focus on, I want to feel love right now. Well, hell, let's do it for a minute. Just feel love. Eyes open or closed, whatever helps you the best. Everybody just feel love. I'm going to feel love right now. And you can feel love for the kitty cat that you most care about, that can start the flow, or a child, or for yourself. Doesn't matter. So feel love. Start to feel love. I want to feel love right now. That's what I want to experience is love. The minute you begin to feel love, give me an indicator by just lifting up a hand just gently kind of near your face so I can see. The minute you start to feel love. Okay, so notice that that love is available. Feel that love. Feel love. Feel love. There's always love available 24/7. Okay, hands down. Just relax with feeling that love. Here's the magic, because what's happening right now is that you are focusing on love, which means the infinite, unlimited energy, knowledge, information, wisdom, and power that creates all the universes, all the knowledge, information, and wisdom that's ever been, because it's eternal, it's not time-based, flowing in and creating you in the universe right now is being aimed intentionally into love. And you start to feel it, and your body starts to feel it. And the more you will yourself to hold that feeling of love and focus on the feeling of love, and what would I like to do with this love? man, I'd like to live in a more loving world. So I'm going to see love spreading to everybody, and I can see things getting easier. I'm flowing so much love to people. They just want to help me because they're feeling consciously or unconsciously. It doesn't matter. They feel this love coming from me. And so people are helping me, and things are getting easier. And as you visualize that, what are you doing? You're aiming the infinite, unlimited power, knowledge, wisdom that's ever been and will ever be directly into that experience. And it is creating that. And if you notice in your body, you'll feel a little bit of relief. And here's one of the most powerful things I can ever tell you. Relief is the feeling you get when your infinite being stops carrying out the commands for hell and suffering that you have been giving it your whole life. When it actually stops and says, oh, you'd rather experience this? That's what relief is. The giant of yourself is no longer reaching out into the future to bring you more pain. And you can feel that relief. So just stay focused on the love for a little while. See love. Instead of the news, see love. Instead of that alert bar running across the bottom of see fucking in, fucking in. Alert, 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 alert. Weather today. Alert, 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 alert. I don't know how many people died doing whatever. What do I want to focus on right now? I want to feel more love. I want to feel more ease. I actually want to experience myself creating the life I want. So you focus that. And when you do it, it's happening. Do you feel it? Oh, Brian, I don't know if that changed the whole world or not. Keep doing it. Do you know how many tens of thousands of times a day you've sent out the signal for pain and suffering and proof of your limitation? So the lens, everybody come back with eyes open here. Listen, the lens never turns off. The infinite flow of all the power, knowledge, information, and wisdom and power that creates all the universes, that's creating your universe now, never turns off. It's ever present, running in. If you're not aiming it on purpose, by default, you're creating more of what is. Now be honest. How many minutes out of the last 3 days, how many seconds did you spend on purpose, consciously aiming it only into what you want to experience? Be honest. Don't tell me, but be honest. How many seconds in the last 3 days did you consciously, intentionally, on purpose, aim it only on what you want? Oh. Oops. Damn it. Get it? So all of a sudden, you know where you are. Oh, I'm that eternal energy as much as anything else in the universe. I'm that eternal energy. I'm a tube. I'm a light tube flowing out of eternity into time and space to have an experience with all the knowledge, information, and wisdom that has ever been and will ever be, all the power that creates all the universes without end, without ever putting a scratch in its infinite capacity to become, flowing into me, holographically projecting as me, and my body shape, my health, the way I look and smell, all of it is an indication of what I think and believe that I know. And then that projects out as the universe around me, all of which is a map and a mirror of everything that I think and believe that I know. And I can actually direct where that infinite, unlimited power, knowledge, and wisdom actually goes. I can become a conscious creator. Can't stop creating. The only thing you can't do is turn the fire hose off. You got two choices of how you're going to direct it. You're either going to consciously aim it into what you want to experience, or you're going to fall into thought, and most of us have lived 99.999% of the time in unconscious thought, looking at what is, referring to memory to try to find ways to cope with it, and creating more of the same. And because we believe in deterioration and death, it's in a downward spiral. Not trying to be depressing, just showing how the machine works when we're running it as a machine. So what would happen? Here's a question for you. What would happen if I began to 5% more than I have? Just 5% more than I have. If I were to begin to practice being present and on purpose aiming that energy into focusing on what I want. Just 5% more than I am. So maybe I've been doing it 0.00001% of the time. It's probably not that far off, to be honest. It's smidgy. Let's be real here. But what if I did it 5% more? Would that make a difference? It would make a difference. And what if I saw that begin to reflect as synchronicities that I liked and wanted more of, and that motivated and encouraged and inspired me to do it 2% more? And then the next day I woke up and I went, holy crap, I feel a little bit better here. Hey, wait, feeling better reminds me that what I want to do is focus on what I want to feel. So what if you did it 3% more? Now that's not just 3% more because you did 5% more, and that added to your original. And then you added a couple percent. Next day you just add a few percent more. And next thing you know, you're spending almost 0.5% of your daily energy focused on what you want. It will change your entire fucking life. A few minutes, a few times a week, because you've got to be honest about how many seconds out of the last 3 days, how many seconds out of the last month did you, honest to God, really presently, consciously focus only on experiencing what you want? Some of you, I read your Facebook posts. You ain't focused on what you want most of the time. I ain't naming anybody. So what would happen? What would happen? What would happen? A little bit more. A little bit more. We're going to go for a lot more. And then, isn't it cool? 90 days or so. Every week, at least an hour that we're together. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you practices. I'm going to give you a home play. We don't believe in homework. Things that you can do, things that you can focus on, little things you can write down and stick around your house. And so next week and the following week, I'm going to focus a lot on your environment. So what I'm gonna wrap up here in just a moment. I want to encourage everybody. Listen, reflect on today. Come back and watch the session again like it was the first time. Be just as present when you watch the replay as you were live, if not more. Okay. And I want you to think about this and maybe talk to the people in your intimate circle, the people who either live in your home with you or people that visit, and tell them, like, get ready with this. You don't have to be this harsh with the words. Some of you guys don't like this, but most of you actually secretly do. I love you so much, I don't give a shit what you think. I love me so much, I don't give a shit what I think. And I love you so much, I don't give a shit what you think. Don't care. So guess what? I'm going to put my big yellow damn smiley face right across from the commode. So when I'm sitting there doing my business, I'm looking at a big yellow smiley face. And I might even put like crap happy under it. I don't know. Okay? I'm going to put like happy stuff over my computer monitor. I'm going to have a huge thing on my wall with images that remind me of what it is that I want. You might think it's stupid, family member, but that's okay. You're fucking miserable. I ain't coming to you for advice on how to make my life better. Didn't think about that. I'm going to put happy quotes on the dash of my car, so I see them every damn time I sit there at the wheel. Someone riding with me might look at that and think, well, that's kind of weird. Really? Look at your fucking life. What's weird is you having any opinion about what I'm doing. But thank you, because I realize I'm the center of the universe. I've created you to show up in my universe and test me and give me a chance to see how I respond when somebody questions my focus. Last thing here. Who has watched the 4? Awesome, Erica. That is such an awesome thing. Who has watched the 4 videos of that are under Start Here? Let's be honest. Who's watched all 4 of them? Damn, you guys are awesome. Okay, almost everybody. Okay, listen. Who found it worth watching? Who found it worth watching? Okay, not necessarily pleasant every minute. A little bit. Some of it was kind of dry, but holy crap! Who would be willing to share for just a minute and share what you got out of that, or how it might be affecting your life? Come on, somebody. If somebody don't step up, I'm going to grab you and ask you. I'm going to volunteer somebody. Okay, Carrie went first. Regina, I'm coming to you next. Tell me, Carrie, what did you get out of that? A practical life. What are you getting out of it?
Well, I can tell you, I've only watched the first one so far, but I was absolutely blown away because it made so much sense when I look around and see what's going on.
Awesome.
It just really explained a lot for me.
Doesn't it?
So I'm really looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, that's only the first. Awesome. Thanks,
I
Carrie.
know.
All right, Regina? All right, mute Carrie. Unmute. There you go.
I got through the first 2, and same thing. It was just I wouldn't say it surprised me, because in being in Conscious Creators, I had a better awareness. I have a better awareness. But I was like, wow, same thing Carrie said, just blown away, like, and eyes open to what's really going on, or what has been going on, and super excited about seeing the next 2. Just the increased awareness. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else? This is worth it, because I'm going to make damn sure that everybody watches those. Julia, what do you got? What you getting out of that, man?
Well, as I watched it, I thought that it was incredible that people that have so much low esteem of the human being will guide everybody in a direction that is destructive for themselves and the others.
Interesting. Beautiful. Now I'm glad I'm opening this up, because we're getting some really cool perspective here. Okay, so Julia, let me remind you something in response to that. Okay, this is the crazy part, because what we want to do, guys, what we want to do to become conscious creators, we want to keep catching ourselves and noticing ourselves and actually bringing ourselves back to that core awareness. So listen, I agree with you on one level, and I totally understand, and I felt the same thing many times about this. Just remember this: you're the center of the universe, and you set it up so that those people did what they did, so that you could have this experience and have these awarenesses. Because in the eternal view, those things are happening now. They didn't actually happen back then. This is the game we chose to play, is to play in a universe where those are the rules. So what's really cool is we're not watching that series. I know this isn't what you said either. We're not watching that series so that we can go, oh my God, fuck Edward Bernays. What an asshole. That's not what we're doing. Or fuck Freud. And we're not doing. What we're doing is we're going, oh, wait a minute. This is reminding me of the rules of the game that I'm playing in this time. I set that crap up. I set that part up. Just like all the other parts. How awesome now, today, to say, do I want to continue believing that? Okay, in fact, that brings up something else I want to share. We will talk a lot more about this, but listen very carefully, guys. Very carefully. Get this one core element, and let's talk about it. Let's comment about it. Let's write in the community. Let's really drill on this concept. Everybody in the universe is a player in your game who you have created and timed to show up to remind you of what you believe. You look at them and you say, oh my God, that violent bitch. No, that's your creation who showed up to come up to you and say, hey, Julio, do you still want to believe in this violence? When you see someone who shows up and steals from you, and you look at them and you go, oh, fucking crook, thief. Oops, wait a minute. That's an angel that you created and timed at that specific date under those specific circumstances to show up and say, hey, Julio, do you still want to continue believing in theft and the pain of loss of private property? Do you want to continue believing that? And when you see somebody that shows up in your family or someone that you know that's dying of cancer, neither of which I believe in, but when you see that, what they're doing is they're showing up and saying, hey, Julio, I'm the angel that you chose at this specific moment in this specific time to show up in front of you with the message of, are you sure you still want to continue believing in cancer, disease, and death? So we take away the victim of, oh, these people are doing these things to me. No, they're not. Life don't happen to me. It happens for me. Everyone that shows up is an angel showing up to remind me of what I already believe so that I can decide if I want to continue believing it. What does that do to our victimhood? Life and people don't happen to me. They happen for me. The one who pisses you off, hurts you the most, is your greatest angel. And you requested it. It came on, you ordered it right off the menu, baby. Alrighty, so I will be sharing a few other things like Century of the Self. I do recommend everybody watches that at least twice. I know, it's like 4 hours, I know. You know how many hours you've put into your request for misery? Alright. I have a big request, and I'm going to do my best to remember, and I'm going to invite you guys to remind me. I'm on a crusade now. I'm on a campaign. I'm a man on a mission. And there are going to be millions of people touched by Level 5 and this information over the course of the next 12 months. It's going to happen. I'm also very selfish. I encourage you to be. Okay? I want to make a ton of money. I want to have a ton of fun. And I want to grow this as a business. It's part of the game that I want to play, and I'm going to touch millions of people. This idea of altruism, where you have to give back, that's programming. Even the corny emotional shit that seems so good, that's programming too. I'm an infinite, unlimited being. Nobody needs my damn help, but there's lots and lots of people that want it. Okay? So I am, let's be transparent here. I'm growing a business, and the more people that come to Level 5, I will make more money. Anyone got a problem with that? I want you to have all the money that you want to have. I want you to have everything you could possibly want to have. Okay, whether you agree with that for me or not. So if you bring people to Level 5, or if you do what I'm about to ask, I hereby confess that you may very well, accidentally or on purpose, benefit me, my family, my kids, and my future. That's your warning, okay? But I'm going to ask you guys at the same time if you would be willing. I'm still using Facebook. I may actually put Facebook out of my life soon. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to continue using it. I'm going to be using Google Plus a lot more. But I'm going to ask you guys, if you will, after sessions, would you please go to my wall? We may switch to the Level 5 wall. I'm going to start using it for business more. But for now, let's just say my own personal wall. Everybody, you guys are all friends with me on Facebook. After the sessions, please take a moment while it's fresh, go to my wall and comment, hey, I'm in the Conscious Creators Program. You know, we just finished session number 1, and holy shit. And say what's great about it. These are things, I have people at very high levels that are starting to look at me in Level 5. I'm going to be getting on big stages in front of huge groups of people. A lot of big things are starting to happen. And the more those people see when they look at my wall and they see happy clients, members of my programs, people that I do one-on-one work with, saying, oh my God, this shit, holy cow, what's great about it? What's great about me? What do you like about me? What do you feel that like makes me different from other people doing similar work? You know, how sincere am I? Am I just doing this for a buck, or is there something really going on here? Okay? The more those comments, the more I appreciate it, and the more it's going to help me reach this out and touch millions of people. If you really want to help, you can even go one step beyond. And if you see somebody else that commented on my wall, add some feedback to that. Let's talk even about what we're talking about here. Okay? Is that clear to everybody? Anybody that doesn't want to help, I love you. It's awesome. Don't worry about it. But if you do feel to, it'll really help. Next thing. Thank you, Carrie. That's ideally is right after the session while it's fresh, okay? The other thing is, in the community, guys, we got a small group this time. Let's keep the community buzzing. Talk about what we're talking about. Feedback. We're probably going to end up with 3 or 4 people that are real fanatics in there. Good. Everybody else, just watch and listen. But by talking throughout the week about what we talked about on the session, it's going to multiply how it sinks in for us. We're going to get chances to look at it, reflect on it from different ways. And what are we trying to do? What are we, excuse me, I just used a T word. Bobby, you should have called me on that one. What we're aiming to do, what we're intending to focus on here, see how I did that? Is to actually increase the moments and the seconds of our focus on this information. Every second focused on this and focused on what we want is a second not focused on creating more pain unconsciously. All right, I'm done for today. Does anyone have any pressing thing that they really feel to experience before we wrap up? Any comment, appreciation for anyone in the program, any excitement, enthusiasm, any insight that you feel to share? I'm going to encourage you guys, when you feel these things, say them when you got the opportunity. You know, don't know who you might bless. All right, John. All right. Oh, you're still muted, buddy. There you go.
Is that better?
Perfect.
Just wanted to say how excited I am to be in the program. I did Conscious Creators 2 retrospectively, so I didn't do the program live with you. This is just so exciting. It's absolutely fantastic. And I meant all of the words that I've said in all of the testimonials that I've done for you. Really excited to be doing the program live with you, and hopefully I can put just a fantastic amount of stuff in. You know what happened to me and things that went on in previous years. I lost my son and smashed my back up. My father was also an alcoholic, similar to yours, Brian, and I've had a lot of issues to deal with. But having listened to you over the last 2-3 years, explained just so much, and I'm in a happy place now. A lot of people don't understand how you can lose a child and still be happy, and it's thanks to you that happened. I'm really looking forward to participating in the program fully, and thanks for what you've done for me.
Oh, you're so welcome, John. Thank you, man. Now, I know that was a blessing to everybody here, okay? And John, I'm going to invite you, if you will, from your happy place, if you want to tell your story, video about it, or write it out and share it, or maybe you can copy because you've told it before. Share it in the community, okay, under the discussion tab. Share that, and you guys find out what this guy has experienced, okay? And John, there's people who won't want you to be happy. They will think it's bad and inappropriate and unacceptable for you to be happy after losing a child. But when you know and you can model to the world fearlessly, I love you so much I don't give a shit what you think. I didn't lose my son. He's an infinite, unlimited being. I'm an infinite, unlimited being. I love him just as much now as I did when he was in his body. There is no loss. And right now, if he could talk, he'd be laughing his ass off. Okay, so I love my son as much now as I did when he was in the body. No, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, that's true.
You model that, and you will set many other people free with it.
Maybe we could cover it on one of the sessions, Brian, live.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe you can point me in a new direction as well.
Yeah, probably some emotion will come up. That'll be a phenomenal spell break right there.
I'm up for that one.
Ooh, All right, love you, brother. Thank you, John.
Thanks, man.
All right, so you guys are freaking awesome. Unlimited, eternal, complete energy, undifferentiated, flawless, can't be created, can't be destroyed, beyond right and wrong, any ideas of good and bad, positive and negative, all those slippery, sticky traps. Next week, we're going to talk about the river of shit and the mountaintop of awesomeness. And we'll do some even deeper orientation. And everybody make sure you're there. Remember, have your finger on. You got to get there before Carrie and Regina and Erica, because they're going to be sitting there watching for that link to be posted, all right? Let's communicate. If you're willing, comment on Facebook to your heart's content. Whatever's awesome and great about this. And then let's continue to communicate in the community. Really keep this alive, and over the course of the week, let's have it almost like multiple sessions. Everybody share what's going on for you. Let's really milk this to where these 90 days are the most transformational, powerful experience any of us have had. All right, love you guys. Namaste.